In 1985, Spider-Man fought a former Herald of Galactus. Not scared him off, not survived him, beat him unconscious on the floor in the middle of New York. And the thing everybody gets wrong about that fight is the part where they assume he got lucky, or got a power-up, or that the writer forgot how strong the power cosmic is. None of that happened. What happened is the same thing that happens in every single one of these. Here is the list nobody believes when you say it out loud. A Herald of Galactus, the Juggernaut, a creature that hunts and eats beings like him across dimensions. The Hulk, that is a genuinely absurd record for a man whose power is that he is quite strong and sticks to walls. But run through them properly, and something stranger shows up than Spider-Man is underrated. Not one of those is a power win. In every single one, he loses the fight he is actually in, and wins a different fight that he swapped in for it. He is never the strongest thing on the page. He is the one who keeps changing the subject. Start with the impossible one. Firelord, former Herald of Galactus, carries the power cosmic, has traded blows with Thor. He comes to Earth. A misunderstanding turns into a fight with some construction workers, and Spider-Man swings in to break it up. He cannot hurt this man. That is established immediately, and it never changes. So he stops trying. For most of 2 issues, Spider-Man does not fight Firelord, he moves him. He leads him through the city and lets the city do the work, into the path of an oncoming subway train, under an abandoned building that he drops on top of him, into a gas station that he tricks Firelord into detonating, and it takes out several blocks. And only then, when there is nothing left to run through, does he actually attack. He hits him dozens of times, and in that whole exchange, a Herald of Galactus cannot lay a hand on him. Not once. Amazing Spider-Man 269 and 270. It's real, and it isn't a fluke, it's a method. 3 years earlier, the cruelest version of the same idea. Nothing can stop the Juggernaut, and in that story, nothing does, certainly not Spider-Man. Every attack he throws does nothing. Not enough, nothing. So he stops attacking. He climbs onto the Juggernaut's back and puts his hands over the eye holes in the helmet. That's it. That's the whole plan. He takes away the man's eyes. Blind, the Juggernaut walks straight into the wet concrete of a building foundation and starts to sink, and keeps talking the entire time, and the concrete sets around him. I want to be accurate here, because this gets overstated constantly. That is not a defeat. That is a containment. The Juggernaut is fine. He is just in the floor. Spider-Man didn't beat him, he filed him. Then there's the one where he wins by poisoning himself. Morlun hunts spider totems across realities and feeds on their life force, and he had already beaten Peter Parker so comprehensively that there was nothing left to try. There is no version of that rematch that Spider-Man wins. So he doesn't have a rematch. He goes to a lab and recreates the radiation that killed the spider that bit him, and he injects it into himself. Enough to weaken him, not quite enough to kill him. Then he lets Morlun feed. And Morlun takes the life force and takes the radiation with it, and it destroys him from the inside. That's the whole thesis in one issue. He does not get stronger. He does not get faster. He makes himself the wrong meal. So look at what these 3 actually have in common, because it isn't power and it isn't luck. Against Firelord, the fight was trade blows with the power cosmic, and he refused it and substituted attrition with a city as the weapon. Against the Juggernaut, the fight was hurt an unstoppable object, and he refused it and substituted gravity. Against Morlun, the fight was outfight a predator, and he refused it and substituted chemistry. Every time, the fight as posed is one he loses. Every time, he is still standing at the end because the fight that finished was a different one. Now the part most of these videos leave out, and it's the best thing on the record. Spider-Man has won on raw power. Twice. Amazing Spider-Man 328 and 329 consecutive issues. In 328, he punches the Hulk into orbit. Then he has to fly up after him and pull him back down, because the Hulk isn't coming back on his own. In the next issue, he destroys the Tri-Sentinel with a single blast. And in both of them, He is carrying the Captain Universe power, handed to him by the Enigma Force, which he loses the moment the job is done. That's it. That's the complete file on Spider-Man outpowering something. 2 issues, and the power wasn't his and it left. Which is the point. The only times he has won by being stronger, he wasn't Spider-Man. There's one more, and it breaks the pattern completely, and it belongs here anyway. After Aunt May is shot, Spider-Man walks into a prison to find the man who ordered it. No terrain trick, no chemistry, no clever substitution. He just beats Wilson Fisk half to death with his hands, in front of everyone, and Fisk cannot stop him. Amazing Spider-Man 542. It is the only win on this list where he accepts the fight exactly as it is, and it is the only one that is genuinely unpleasant to read. I include it because a video that only shows you the clever ones is selling you a character who doesn't exist. So everyone Spider-Man has defeated. A Herald of Galactus, the Juggernaut filed in a floor, a Predator that eats people like him, the Hulk with somebody else's power, the Kingpin with nothing but his hands and a reason. The list is the reason you clicked. The method is the reason it keeps happening. He does not win because he is secretly strong enough. He wins because he treats the terms of a fight as negotiable, and almost nobody he faces does. Firelord expected a fight and got a city. The Juggernaut expected a fight and got a floor. Morlun expected a meal. Every feed in this video is from the source material. If you think I've got a call wrong, say which issue, that's the fun part.